As you know, the market's very focused on trade talks right now, and that's why we've seen equities recover to the extent they have over the past week. Stephen, the US says China wants to talk. China's going around saying the US wants to talk. I don't think the market really cares about that. The market just wants to see talks. What's the timeline for actual talks?
So the president has repeatedly said in recent weeks, and he's been very clear, that he thinks that we will do a deal with China. I think the president is right. And as I keep pointing out, the president has one of the best track records on making deals in the entire history of the country. He is able to pull deals out of a hat that nobody thinks are possible. He pulled the phase one deal with China out of a hat in 2018, 2019, in spite of all the doubters. Many people didn't think that was possible, but he achieved it. And so I think the president is right that we will have a deal with China. I can tell you, I can tell you that I have good reason for that optimism. I think that it's in the interest of both economies to lower the temperature, to create breathing space, to continue talking, to figure out how we can get to a new stable equilibrium on trade. And I think that a little bit of de-escalation will be quite helpful. So I would be surprised if tariff rates are where they are now, within a few weeks from now.
A few weeks. So you're saying within a few weeks, the 145% tariff rate on China is bound to come down, and to where, Stephen?
Well, I can't get ahead of negotiations. I can't make commitments. I'm not part of the trade negotiating team. I'm not a trade negotiator. But what I can tell you is the president has been very clear that he thinks that there will be a deal with China, and I think the president is right. And I think it's in the interest of both sides to come to a de-escalation that lowers the temperature and creates breathing space.
Well, China this morning put out a statement, the Commerce Ministry, so this is official, saying China is currently evaluating this. Do you have a sense when the president is going to get on the phone with Xi Jinping?
I don't. And again, I'm not a trade negotiator. I'm an economic advisor. That's the scope of my role. What I'm giving you is my expectations. I can't get ahead of the negotiations. I can't commit anyone.
Stephen, I wonder if you could give us some insight, though, just to the approach we're taking at the moment. The Treasury Secretary mentioned just yesterday that maybe we could revisit the purchase agreements that we struck with China back in 2020. Is that something we'd look to do with other nations as well?
Look, I think that there's a wide variety of terms that can be included in the different negotiations, and each country is different, each trading partner is different, and I suspect that each trading agreement that is reached will end up being different too. But things like that should definitely be on the table, and I think it's up to other countries to show America that they mean to make trade more fair, they mean to make trade more reciprocal, and they mean to create better markets for U.S. exports the way that we accept their exports into our markets. And purchases like the type you're describing, could work towards that end.
Well, the Europeans are looking at increasing the purchases of U.S. goods to 50 billion euros to address what they say is the problem in the trade relationship. Is that enough to get a deal done between Washington and Brussels?
Again, I can't. I'm not a trade negotiator. I'm not making deals with people. I'm just an economic advisor, and I can't say. I can't prejudge the outcomes of those deals. However, what I will say is that talking is better than not talking, and I do believe in the ability of the president to create deals that nobody expects. And once you start on that process, I think that there will be fertile ground for countries to see eye to eye to make trade fairer, more symmetric, more durable, more resilient, and create a more long-lasting, stable global trading system.